Welcome in, everyone, to Hitting the Field in March. That's right, we are already in March. Unbelievable. But we are back for episode 6 of season 22. I'm your host, Edgar Rodriguez. And today we have a stacked show, as always. NFL Combine, who has been lighting it up, right, at the Combine. NBA play-in also, and then MLS have started their season as well. So much to talk to. We're glad you've joined us. Hitting the Field starts right now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
Look at this lineup to talk NFL Combine. It doesn't get much better than this, guys. Kathleen Moore, Nick Cohen, welcome.
Hello, Edgar. Thank you for having us. I'm so excited to be here.
I am as well. We are talking some very exciting stuff, and, you know, I wouldn't like to do it with anyone else.
Oh, look how kind
Oh my gosh, friends,
Look,
yay.
the first time this has ever happened, a little foreshadowing to draft show as well. Not quite there yet, and we don't quite have 4 hours to talk about ball. But we do have, a
couple
few
of things.
spare minutes
Yeah,
to
you
talk.
know, 10-ish.
Nick Cohen, I'm going to give you the honors.
Sure.
Who should we be paying attention to? Who has caught your eye so far?
Sure. So Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. Now, people are talking about him. It's not like this is new news. However, he lit it up at the Combine, running a 4.39 40-yard dash. Everyone looks at the 40-yard dash as the big tell as to if this person is going to be a good athlete. His 10-yard split was great as well at 1.54, amongst the best at tight ends at the Combine this year. He is 6'3", 241 pounds. He had 560 yards and 8 touchdowns at Oregon this year. Now, Kathleen, 6'3", 241 pounds. You don't think he's going to stay a tight end, do you?
I do not.
Do you know things we don't?
No, I know
No,
nothing
she
that
doesn't.
you
No,
don't
she
know.
doesn't. Because I think he will stay a tight end. Now, first of all,
he's too fast to be a tight end. He's
said
way too
no
fast.
one ever.
Said me just now. Said me just now.
So where do you think he's going to, what do you
He's
see in
going
his
to end
future?
up in a wide receiver spot or potentially a linebacker.
The ball tracking would be absurd.
Nick Cohen, you clearly don't agree.
I mean, I don't think we should be judging just off of his height whether he's going to stay at tight end, because it's not like there hasn't been a tight end at 6'3" before. 6'4" was Antonio Gates. 6'3" was Mike Ditka, and his NFL comparison by Lance Zierlein is Trey McBride, the best tight end in the league. So some big names that he's being compared with, and I think we should really talk about a scenario that could happen, and I think the league would be screwed if he goes to the Chiefs.
Yes, we
Because
talked about
I
this
think
last night.
because I think it's a possibility. If Caleb Downs goes before the Chiefs, and if Jeremiah Love goes before the Chiefs, I think he's going to the Saints, but we're not getting into that.
Not yet.
Kenyon Sadiq to the Chiefs to learn
Dangerous.
behind Travis Kelce for a year.
Yeah,
Danger.
disgusting.
Danger.
That kind of just propels the Chiefs. Of course, he has had the off year, didn't even make it to the playoffs, okay, blah, blah, blah. But if they are to, right, get back to what we know they can be, what we know they have been for years on end, my goodness. Kathleen, just thoughts on his college season in 2025. Do you see NFL, like,
From
is it
Sadiq?
valid? Yeah.
It's definitely a valid
Okay.
take. It makes me sick to my stomach to think about the Chiefs having a new stud at tight end after Travis Kelce retires.
It's not really fair.
Makes me fully sick to my stomach. I don't understand why you get so much luck as a franchise. I don't think it should be allowed. We have to do something about that.
Okay,
Roger
well-
Goodell, please, if you can hear me.
Well, if it makes you sick to your stomach, then let's move on, okay?
Yeah, I
Because
know.
we have other players on our agenda.
Definitely.
Sonny Styles Jr. out of
Yes.
Ohio State. Kathleen Moore, why is he your pick?
Sonny Styles is my pick because he had probably one of the most perfect NFL combines I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
6'5", 244 pounds. He ran a 4.46 in the 40, which is kind of insane for a linebacker. 43.5-inch vertical jump, and obviously he's likely a first-choice linebacker. Definitely propelled himself into a guaranteed top 10 in the first round. Clearly, he is going to go so high, and I just cannot believe what Ohio State has got in the water with these guys.
We talk about
They're absurd.
We talk about players changing positions. He's one of them.
He is?
From safety
Yes.
to linebacker.
Yes.
Nick Cohn, what'd you see from him?
Well, I think one thing we need to keep in note as the draft process continues too is that all these guys after the combine, okay, now they're locks at top 10. They're locks in this spot. What about the guys that were there before? Because just because maybe they didn't compete in certain drills at the combine doesn't mean there's room for everyone to go in the top 10 now. So it's once we get down the line and closer to April, it's gonna be really difficult to decide who is going in the top 10. But Sonny Styles, I kind of agree, top 10 pick right now.
And what's so absurd is that there's so much of the draft process that we are not privy to. We don't see these prospects interviews with teams. We have no idea what kind of people they are.
A major part of getting to the league. Yeah.
We have no idea how to even measure that because that's not information that we're privy to. But I do want to break some news that I broke on the combine just earlier. Yes, Dave Montgomery has been traded from the Lions to the Texans for a 5th, a 7th, and a lineman. I think that this was honestly a really nice move to gain some draft stock for Detroit. But I do feel like maybe it wasn't like a 5 and a 7 wasn't necessarily necessary. Could have just gone for a 3, and maybe you would have found yourself a higher quality player. But still not a bad move.
We'll see how that move works out. We have to keep it rolling, though. And my player, okay, I'm going to stick with quarterbacks. And not the obvious choice, okay, because he did not work out at the combine, of course, Fernando Mendoza. But Ty Simpson, okay, had a good season at Alabama. Really separated himself, right, as QB2 in this year's class with the workout he had. 1 year of starting experience, okay, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But, I mean, if you have the type of performance he did at the combine, okay, he raised lots of eyebrows. We all know his talent. We all know he's good, right? You don't just start for Alabama out of nothing, right? Of course, Indiana in the Rose Bowl was the last game of his season. Of course, Indiana, no one had an answer to break that Indiana, that Kurt Signetti formula, and he obviously fell short as well. But do we think he's ready for the NFL after his 2025 season? Nick Cohen, go first.
I would like to say no. I do not think, yes, he's the quarterback 2 in this draft, but this is a historically bad quarterback draft. It's just like the Malik Willis draft.
Right.
And, again, bringing up Lance Zierlein, his comparison for Ty Simpson is Mac Jones. Maybe it's just because they're both Alabama guys, but I don't see Ty Simpson working out that well. He'll maybe be a round 2 pick, I want to say, but still.
I think that we're moving into a new era of really reliable backups.
Yeah.
Because I think like the Jacoby Brissetts of the world are kind of aging out, and so now there needs to be a new phase of really reliable backups, and I think that Ty Simpson is going to move right into that spot.
And Mac Jones is one of those.
For sure.
Yeah.
So really good comp for him.
Yeah.
For what he's going to be.
And like you said, this season, I mean, not much really to look at. Of course, past Mendoza, who will likely go first, not if you listen to Dan Orlovsky, like we were talking about, who for some reason doesn't think
Strange
that.
guy.
Let's move on.
Has gone on public saying that he hasn't seen the second half of his season.
I mean, what are we doing? Who hasn't?
I don't know.
Who wasn't watching the
admit
second
that.
half of his season? Okay, let's move on to some shout-outs. Brendan Thompson Jr., again, that 40-yard dash, I mean,
Absurd.
it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, a 4.26, and he's 5'9", by the way. 5'9", by the way. I mean, Brandon Thompson, you'll be potentially a really mid-slot receiver, so really exciting for you, but this doesn't change anything about his draft stock. If we just have to talk about the greatest 40-yard dash performance this year.
And more likely a good return guy.
Yes, more likely
If we're
a good
being
kick
extremely
returner.
realistic.
And we always put a lot of weight on the 40-yard dash, right? But again, we talk about his future in the NFL, where we're going to tame expectations on a little bit.
Definitely. This doesn't change his draft stock. He's still going to be a 4th or a 5th rounder, but still really impressive. So good for you, friend.
We have saved the last minute because, of course, we gotta show our black and gold here. Shout out Malachi Lawrence, okay? What a workout he had at the combine. 4.52 40-yard dash for a D lineman
Insane.
of his build. I mean,
Insane.
that is impressive, Nick Cohen.
I would be terrified.
It really is. I mean, he was great with us at UCF. UCF hasn't had an edge defender get drafted since Tremont Morris Brash 2 years ago, and he did not pan out well. But Malachi Lawrence, he was athletically the second best edge in this year's combine, only to David Bailey. And Malachi Lawrence, we just love to see it from UCF.
Comp.
Yeah.
NFL caliber edge rusher for you, Kathleen?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Top 50 pick?
top 50 pick. Yeah.
Look out for him.
I'm there.
Not quite day one, probably,
Second-
but day
second
two,
round.
absolutely, guys. That was
it.
very fun. I wish we had more
was.
time.
I
The draft
know.
show will be the spot to find us three and more, of course.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you very much for coming on. We're going to switch gears over to the NBA next. Don't go anywhere. And the quick interruption, we'll be right back for your show. For now, let me give you a quick rundown of what the Hitting the Field Network has planned for you. My name is Edgar Rodriguez, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field Season 22, live streaming every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. There, you'll find me and our expert guests talking about everything in the wide world of sports. On Tuesday, get ready because it's Season 10 of Nighttime. Hosted by Andrew Gregg and Joe Geiger, Nighttime keeps you up to date on everything happening in the world of college sports and UCF athletics. Moving on to Wednesday, we have Season 8 of The Combine, hosted by our very own Kathleen Moore. This podcast takes a deep and technical dive into everything NFL, and you won't want to miss that. On Thursday, we go live with Bets, where our Bets boys, Ben Huber, Augie Aronson, and Scott Harris, will give their expert opinion that might just make you some money. On Friday, Season 4 of Girls Got Game takes over with only the hottest topics in women's sports, hosted by none other than Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores. And to round out the week, Season 3 of HGFC comes on Saturday, hosted by Octavius Lawrence and Santiago Molina. Soccer never stops, and HGFC will be your stop for everything in the world of football. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where you can find non-stop additional content, as well as stay updated on all HTFN news. Lastly, leave a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube. That's all I got. I'm Edgar Rodriguez signing off. Enjoy the rest of your show. A new segment and two new guys to my left-hand side to talk some NBA this time. Francisco Vera, Octavius Lawrence. Guys, the play-in is getting close.
Yeah.
Season's wrapping up almost.
Yep.
How we feeling?
I don't know. I mean, as a Heat fan, I'm kind of used to the plan at this point.
Right.
So, I mean, I just have to look forward to it,
Familiar
whether I
territory
don't
for
like to. I don't want to.
Familiar territory for
Yeah,
you. Your
yeah.
Pistons are.
Hey,
what is a play-in?
I couldn't tell you. We went from 2-26 to the best team in the East. I haven't watched my team be successful my entire time supporting the Pistons. Shout out Blake
Wow.
Griffin, 2019.
There you go.
But this is a great year. I can't imagine being in the play-in. I mean, but not to say too much. Not to say
We got to
too
explain what that is to Octo, but he's still here to talk some ball. Happy you guys are on. And let's start in the East, Octo, and I'm going to stay with you. The Pistons, of course, it started last year mainly, right? But this year, again, just running away with it.
And, I think the biggest thing about the Pistons this year is the fact that they lost some pieces. They lost Malik Beasley due to a gambling suspension.
Right.
And he's still floating around. One of our best shooters, they pick up Duncan Robinson. He's been a great asset. They trade away Jaden Ivey, a former first-round fifth pick. Like, they're changing pieces, and they're still this good. Jalen Duren stepped up. Cade Cunningham right now is the MVP frontrunner with players getting injured. It's been a great season to be a Pistons fan.
It has been unbelievable for Detroit. Let's move over to the West, though, real quick before we get into the play. And of course, we have to look at the equivalent, really, in the West, and that has, of course, been the OKC Thunder. Right from the start of the season, no surprises there, Francisco.
I mean, it looks like OKC just picked up where they left off.
Completely.
Reigning NBA champions. However, I do want to point out the San Antonio Spurs are slowly creeping up that one seed, and to be fair, they are 4-1 against the Thunder this season. So that is something.
Beat 'em almost every time.
They're kryptonite.
Yeah, that is something that you got to look out for, especially once we get closer and closer to the final push of the season, where we could see the Thunder and the Spurs kind of fighting for that one seed, and it could end up being maybe like a 1 or 2 game difference at most.
Completely. The Thunder, of course, whenever they face the Spurs, I mean, it's always like, whoa. This team can lose a game. This team, like, what? We kind of forget that they're human. The Spurs remind them of that, of course. But let's switch our attention over to what we're actually talking about today, and that's, of course, the play-in. And in the East, Francisco, it's the Bucks right on the cusp. I mean, they've had a rocky season with all the Giannis drama. We all know about that. That's been covered enough. Do you see a world where they get in?
No, I don't think so. I do not think so. They are now on what I like to call ethical tanking, so to speak, where you kind of make games competitive, but you still lose. I mean, right now they are on a 2-game losing streak. Giannis is gone for the rest of the season. They are shutting him off, and I just think that the trade rumors kind of started that in a way because he was injured. They put him out for 2 weeks, and then all those rumors start. He was high to go to the Heat, the Warriors, and a bunch
all the big names.
All the big names, obviously, as per usual. And then they just shut him off for the rest of the season. They don't trade him. And then now this team is just, you have Kevin Porter Jr. leading the team, which I don't think that can get them that far. I do think he does have a lot of potential, but I just don't think that the Bucks will get it done.
Shout out Ryan Rollins, though. He's been hooping.
Sure.
Ryan Rollins. I mean, the Bucks aren't in a great situation, but you got to give them a little bit of grace. They have much more experience than those teams above them.
They do, but it's just like what I said, ethical tanking. They're just not going to, I guess, compete when they don't really have a chance to make it far in the playoffs.
Teams don't do that, though, Francisco.
No, a team would never tank.
They'd never
no
tank.
team would ever tank.
Why would you want to lose? Why would you wanna lose?
Yeah, you know.
It's not like this is one of the best draft classes in recent memory. We're not worried about that.
Octo, I wanted to mention, moving on from the Bucks, the Bulls. Okay, a team who is basically used to is
just
is
like
kind of
they love the play.
We're the Bulls, you know. We make it. Of course we do. This season is different. They might not.
No, they're pretty bad this season. To be frank, I think they're the 12th seed right now. They've been correct. They've been terrible. You look at the roster composition they've had in the past: Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. All those players left. Their team is not what it used to be. They're led by Matas Buzelis and, frankly, a bunch of nobodies.
Apart from Giddey as well.
Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's been hooping. Josh Giddey's been hooping. Shout out Australia, but
of course,
Josh Giddey. It's just that team is not. They're not playing up to the potential that I think a lot of those players have, and I feel bad for a lot of the Bulls fans because historic franchise, not historic players.
No, not at all. Of course, Matthew Polbrook, by the way, behind the camera, was making sure we mentioned his name, and we can't forget.
Josh Giddey.
He would not have been a happy camper if he didn't. Thoughts on the Bulls? Are they in? Are they out?
I think in terms of the play-in situation right now, the gap between teams that are in and the gap between the Bucks and the Bulls, I think it's too big of a gap to kind of make up. However, they do have a lot of games left with teams that are currently in the play-in. So they definitely do have a chance. But for the Bulls, losing Vooch as well, that kind of does kind of tank their chances, I guess.
Especially for a team who lacks spacing like the Bulls. I mean, you need a big center like that. It's unfortunate for them, but to be honest, I don't think the Bulls make it. The Hornets are a better team, the Hawks are a better team, and the Heat are a better team.
That's who I wanted to mention next, the Hornets, okay, who have been a hot team. I mean, if you watch the start of the NBA season, you would be like, what in the Hornets? Yeah. But they have gotten hot at the right time, guys, and they are really a team that is fighting for a spot. They have bought into that play-in spot now, and it doesn't look like they're going to give it away.
No, it's a little surprising, to be honest, because you think about the Hornets, not to be rude to any Hornets fans out there who may be watching the broadcast, but they're historically not the best of franchises. Michael Jordan came in, pretty much bought that franchise, and I'm not going to say ever since, they've been bad their entire time.
Yeah.
But LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Colin Knippel, these are players who are averaging 17-plus points a game. When you have a roster who everyone can hoop, they're doing their job, and they're doing it very well. Even players like Moussa Diabate, I mean, when he's on the court, I'm pretty sure they have like a top 5 lineup with Knippel, Diabate, Ball, and Miller, and plus minus the entire season. Yeah. So they're a good team. They're a very good team.
Full of great players, Francisco. And when you only lose 3 games in February, I mean, you're bound to put yourself in a good position.
I mean, they already are in the 10th spot right now in the play-in. And, I mean, the Hawks, they only have a game difference between them, and they can climb up to the 9th spot and maybe even 8 or 7 if they keep on building on their momentum. Now, Colin Knippel is probably, I want to say, a favorite to win Rookie of the Year.
Over Flag?
It's either or. It's either or. But I think that the Hornets do have a chance to obviously secure a play-in spot, but also kind of keep moving up. Maybe if the cards align, maybe get a guaranteed playoff spot.
Wow. Yeah, 100% Knipple has, of course, been the talk of the town there, and they are looking good to make it into the playoffs and the play-in first, of course.
Indeed.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet, but they have been great.
Yeah.
They have been absolutely great since the turn of the year. We can't forget also the team that is 4 games back at the moment from those play-in spots, and that's, of course, Memphis. Okay. Octo, what have you seen from them? And again, we talked about it earlier, is the gap too big at the moment?
You know, you look over at the West. The West is always a lot more competitive than the East. We've seen teams like the Thunder, Spurs, Rockets, Timberwolves, Nuggets, even the Lakers sometimes, they can all compete. And the Grizzlies, just 2 years ago, were fine in the West.
Yeah.
That team was exceptional, but John Morant's not there. Jaren Jackson Jr.,
Gone.
we don't know. We don't know what was happening in that locker room. That team is not what it used to be. It's not that we're good in the West. Grizzlies, and
right.
I don't see a star player on that team right now. I don't see a player that can elevate them past the Timberwolves, or not past the Timberwolves, past the Trailblazers, past the Clippers.
Clippers are in there, Warriors.
I don't see that. I don't see that. At least the Trailblazers have Denny Advia. I don't see the Grizzlies with a player of that caliber.
Francisco, any hope for the Grizzlies? I mean, they're right on the cusp. Again, they have a chance.
6 games back, though.
Is that too much?
Like I've mentioned before,
Yeah.
in the East as well, the gap is getting too wide for these teams. They should have made a run earlier in the season, maybe keep the players that they traded away, like Jaren Jackson Jr.,
Yeah.
but now I think it's too late.
Okay, so just to finish off, Octo, any surprise team, if they are from the East or West, to get into the play-in is?
I'm going to be honest, I don't think we see many surprises.
Okay.
The only one we would really see would be the East, and maybe you get a Bucks, maybe you get a Bulls, but
right.
I think the West is sorted. The top 10 teams are separated by 6 games from 10 to 11.
Yeah.
You're not going to see changes. You're not going to see changes unless they just fall off.
Quick surprise, Francisco, who would it be?
Like Octo said, in the East, it'll probably have to be the Hornets.
Hornets it is. Hornets it is, guys. That was fun. We have one more, and that's MLS, who got their season started this past weekend. Week 2 already, by the way, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who?
Marcus?
You good? I'd give them one of these, and one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
Yes, HGFC host. You moved from basketball to soccer to football.
Of course.
Okay, are we ready to talk MLS?
I'm always ready to talk MLS.
Man, 2 weeks of the season have already come and gone. Lots of talking points, okay? And here in Orlando City, it's for the negative, okay? That team is looking embarrassing. That's exactly where we're going to jump straight into, okay? We're going to show you the highlights from the Florida Derby. Orlando City, Inter Miami. Octo, Orlando had never lost to Miami, and Orlando fans were happy because Angulo did something into Pasalic Bang 1-0.
What a goal. What a goal.
Fantastic finish. And again, I feel weird saying Angulo did something right.
It feels weird, but Orlando City, they started out well.
The first half, they cooked. They cooked in the first half because, yes, okay, bang, 1-0, beating St. Clair there, and it got
Here's
better.
another one.
Martin Ojeda eventually able to get a shot off.
Look at that link up.
What
That's
a
beautiful.
finish.
Little Travella.
What a finish
Beautiful.
from Ojeda, the captain this season. again, Orlando in the first half, I did not see this coming, Octo. I was so surprised.
Not at all.
But then second half, Octo, Miami coming back, Silvetti taking it early into the bottom corner. Crepeau was amazing in goal for Orlando, but this strike,
There's not much you can do there.
No,
There's
not at all.
Not much you can do there at all. Average MLS goal right there.
And then it got better because Messi decided to show up, and before the 60th minute, they have drawn it level at 2, Octo. The GOAT showing up.
A little haircut from Messi there, too. Looking like vintage Messi. Maybe got some grays in there, but a nice shot from him nonetheless.
The first time he played in Orlando, by the way, and then Segovia, 85th minute, look at the clock. Miami take the lead and shatters Orlando City Hearts, Octo.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wouldn't get any better for Orlando City.
No, because then Messi in the 90th minute banged 4-2 from the free kick. Unbelievable. Let's move on, though, to LAFC Houston, a game that we saw plenty of red cards, and this was the first one, Octo. I mean, you're not going to get away with something like that.
No. It was a violent game, and attacking a beloved star of Heung-min Son. That's inexcusable.
How about this from Delgado? I mean, no words can describe this. No one closing him down, finding the side netting. Against 10 men, Houston Dynamo LAFC take the lead.
It's a beautiful curler there, too. Again, like I said before, average MLS goal. You're always going to get some screamers, and that was a beautiful one.
Oh, and how about this assist, okay? But then LAFC thought they were on the break. I mean, again, you're giving the referee no option here. This is the easiest red card he'll give in his career.
Especially that late in the game, too. You're already down 1. You can't make a mistake like that.
Another banger. Estacio making it 2-0. LAFC start the season perfect. Oh, look at this outside the box. Unbelievable.
What are you even going to do?
LAFC have not conceded a goal yet, Octo. And how about this game? Philly against NYCFC. And it was City to get into an early lead here.
Yeah, a little bit surprising there. I mean, NYC, I feel like coming into the season, I didn't expect too much, but they've looked very good.
They've looked
very good.
They've had a great start to the season. Vasilev now with a penalty. Look at the clock again. 89th minute, steps up. A little stutter step bang. Philly think they have a point at home.
And then, that's all they can hope for, but
99th
hope's crushed.
Minute. 100%. I mean, Gray in there with the header. You can see what it means to him. Beautiful cross. I mean, you can't ask for a better delivery than that. NYCFC take home an improbable 3 points on the road. There's a little recap to kind of go through all of the notable results in MLS this past weekend and, of course, from week 1. But I want to come back on camera 3 here because we have to talk Orlando City. Okay, the first half, right, in the first game against New York Red Bulls. That was one of the worst first half performances I've ever seen out of any team that I've ever turned on and watched on my TV. That was horrible. Okay, that reminded me of 2018 Orlando City when they could not kick a ball around. They couldn't
get a pass, couldn't play a through ball. It was terrible.
So then, second half against New York Red Bulls was better. Okay, but you set the bar as low as it can go. You can't get worse than what that first half was. Okay, first half against Miami, Octo, you're like, whoa, 2-0 lead against Messi playing in Orlando for the first time.
Defending champions, too.
Whoa, this can't get any better. But then the second half, the same old happened again. In Orlando City, let me tell you, all I had to see was those first 45 minutes to see that it's going to be a long season for Oscar Pereira and his guys.
Very long season. I feel like they're going to continue the woes that they had all of last season. Their biggest problem last year, it wasn't their goal scoring. It was their defense.
Yeah.
And once again, you can't allow 4 goals. I get it. It's Messi. I understand. He's the star boy of the MLS. He's the reason that we get so many eyes on this
Face
sport.
of the league, 100%.
But you can't allow 4 goals. You can't go up 2-0 and blow it in the second half. That's terrible. If I'm an Orlando City fan, I'm throwing my remote at the monitor.
100%. 100%. I would have walked out once it was 2-2. You only knew it was going to get worse. And
it's
by
just
the way,
a matter of time.
By the way, don't even look at the schedule up ahead if you're an Orlando City fan. You have NYCFC next. We just saw they got the late winner against Philly. Yes, you have Montreal at home. Okay, they've started with 2 losses as well. Probably you look at that game as your potential win. But then you're on the road to Nashville, on the road to LAFC, and on the road to Columbus. Back to back to back, Octo. They're not picking up any points playing the way they have.
I think max they'll get 3 points out of that whole thing. I'm not even thinking they're going to beat Montreal. They might get a win over Columbus, but that's it. This is not a good team right now.
No, it is
You're
not.
going to need to see some real changes, maybe some players coming in, because I can't, in good faith, say that Orlando City finishes anything above, 11th right now?
Bring me Antoine Griezmann, and maybe I start thinking a little more optimistically. But again, that's a move that I have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, and you know, we saw those rumors circulate. Yeah. Antoine Griezmann obviously is a key player in France's World Cup and a key player for Atletico Madrid for so many years, but we don't know if he's going to come over, and if he does come over, will he make an impact that can save Orlando City? Because they need a savior.
They need a savior badly, and at the moment, I mean, yes, Pasalic, yes, Ojeda, but let's move on, though, because we can talk about how bad Orlando City.
Talk about that all day.
All day long. LAFC, though, starting the season perfectly, having conceded a goal, like I mentioned, Octo. I mean, they beat Miami.
Yeah, 3-0.
In a sold-out Coliseum in LA first. Then Houston, you would expect to win there, but they're picking up points. Are they a contender already? Are we looking at them as the favorites for this year?
I feel like coming into the year, you always have to consider LAFC.
Always.
Like they're always contenders. I'm not going to say the favorites yet, but you look at those attacking options. Wonga, Son, Tillman, David Martinez. It's an elite team. It's an elite team.
So much depth there.
That front four is they work so well.
It's elite.
It's elite.
For MLS, it's elite.
It is. And honestly, some of those players could be playing in maybe not Europe, but some of these players could be playing outside of the U.S. It's a good squad.
It's a
very
great
good squad.
LAFC, look out for them as one of the favorites. Again, only the second week, so let's not get ahead of ourselves, but
let's give it some time.
I mean, if you start the season the way they have, eyes are going to be on you right from the start. And let's finish the segment off with a quick word on NYCFC. Again, Orlando City go to Yankee Stadium next. Again, a pretty impressive start, 4 points out of the first 2 games.
Yeah, and you know, after that first game, I was a little surprised. They picked up a draw. I was like, they're all right. You know, they'll do what they need to do. I'm never going into a season thinking that NYCFC are going to be some, you know, league title chasers. I'm not predicting that, but they've kind of surprised me so far.
Yeah.
They have grit. They have determination. 89th minute equalizer, 99th minute goal. They remind me of team like Leverkusen. They remind me of Leverkusen, never out of the game.
They've had that start of the season.
We'll see how the year
progresses. Great comparison. NYCFC, look for them. Always a threat in the East. Octo, we've run out of time. We've run out of time for episode 6 of Main Show. Thank you so much for joining us. So from production, from everyone who joined me at the desk, from everyone behind the camera, that was a fun one. Stay tuned. You know where to find us next week as well. Take care, everyone.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap.